If you grew up in the early 2000s, there's a very good chance that Malcolm in the Middle was a part of your childhood. The chaotic Wilkerson household, the unhinged brothers, Lois screaming from across the house, Hal and his tidy witties doing something completely unhinged. And in the middle of all of it, Malcolm, the kid who was too smart for his own good and somehow still couldn't catch a break. The show ran for 7 seasons. It won Emmy Awards. It launched the career of a then-unknown actor named Bryan Cranston, who, obviously, went on to become one of the most celebrated performers in television history. And when it ended in 2006, it left a massive hole that fans have been trying to fill ever since. For nearly 2 decades, people have been asking, will it ever come back? And for nearly 2 decades, the answer was always some version of probably not. And then, finally, after all these years, something changed as, oh, here's what we know. Malcolm in the Middle, Life Still Unfair is a revival miniseries. It's not a full-length reboot. It's not a soft remake with a new cast. It's the original family, coming back together with a brand new story to tell. And the setup? Actually brilliant. Malcolm, now an adult, is in crisis. His life hasn't gone the way he planned. And so, inevitably, he does the one thing nobody wants to do when their life falls apart. He goes home, back to the chaos, back to the family, back to everything he spent his childhood desperately trying to escape. Familiar faces are returning. The Wilkerson family dynamics are back. And from everything we've heard, this isn't just a nostalgic reunion special. There's an actual story being told here. A real one, with emotional weight and something genuinely new to say. But wait. Before we get into all of that, we need to answer the obvious question. Why did it take 20 years? Because that's the part of this story that nobody is really talking about. And it's the most interesting part. Here's the truth. This revival almost never happened. Not because people didn't want it. Not because the cast wasn't interested. But because of one simple, surprisingly honest reason. They didn't have a good enough story. Creator Linwood Boomer had stepped away from Hollywood. He was, by all accounts, retired. Comfortable, not looking to come back. And after years of being approached about a revival, years of conversations, discussions, exploratory talks, his answer was always the same. If there's no compelling story, there's no point. He wasn't going to bring this family back just to cash in on nostalgia. He wasn't going to do a reunion special that meant nothing. It had to earn its existence. And for a long time, no story came. Years passed. The idea floated around. Fans kept asking. And Boomer kept waiting. That's actually kind of remarkable when you think about it. In an industry that absolutely loves recycling beloved IP for a quick payday, the creator of this show refused to do it unless it was right. And then something personal happened. Something in Linwood Boomer's own life gave him the emotional foundation he'd been waiting for. A real human experience that suddenly made the story feel necessary. Not just fun. Not just nostalgic, but actually worth telling. And that moment of personal clarity is what unlocked everything. Now let's talk about Bryan Cranston. Because if this revival is happening, a huge part of the credit goes to him. Cranston has been the most vocal, most consistent champion of this revival for years. While Boomer was waiting for the right story, Cranston was actively pushing. He was sending ideas. He was having conversations. He publicly talked about wanting to bring the show back in interview after interview. This wasn't a guy who moved on from Malcolm when Breaking Bad made him a superstar. He genuinely cared about this family. About Hal. About what more there was to explore. And here's what's actually touching about that. Bryan Cranston could have coasted. After Breaking Bad, after everything he achieved, he didn't need Malcolm in the Middle for his legacy. His legacy was already secured. But he kept pushing anyway, because it mattered to him personally, because Hal Wilkerson mattered to him, and because he believed the audience deserved a proper return. When Boomer finally found his story, Cranston was already there, ready, excited, and completely on board. The two of them collaborated on shaping what this revival would actually be. And that partnership, honestly, is a big reason why this thing has a real shot at being good. Look, we've all been burned before. We've seen beloved shows come back for revivals that fell hollow, rushed, or completely unnecessary. We've watched reunions that retroactively made us like the original less. So the skepticism is valid. The caution is earned. But here's why this one feels different. Because nobody involved needed to do this. Boomer waited until he had a story rooted in real personal experience. Not industry pressure, not streaming deal money, but genuine emotional truth. Cranston spent years pushing for it not because his career needed a boost, but because he believed in it. And the format, a tight 4-episode miniseries, signals that this isn't designed to be milked. It's designed to be good. That combination, the right story, the right people, the right amount of time, is surprisingly rare. And it makes this revival feel less like a cash grab and more like something that was actually worth waiting for. Oh, what are you actually getting when you sit down to watch this? 4 episodes. Short, tight, focused. Classic Wilkerson chaos, because some things will never change. Hal being Hal, the family dynamic that made the original so irresistible. But layered over that is something new, a story about adult Malcolm confronting the gap between who he thought he'd become and who he actually is. About returning to where you came from. About family being both the source of your problems and somehow, against all logic, the thing that fixes them too. Expect a laugh. Expect to cringe in the best way. And, surprisingly, expect to feel something. Because if Boomer's personal inspiration translated to the screen the way he describes, there might be genuine emotional weight here. The kind that sneaks up on you between the chaos and makes you feel like you're watching something real. Here's where I land on this. I think this revival could actually work. And I don't say that lightly. I say it because of the patience behind it. Because nobody rushed this. Nobody forced it. The story waited until it was ready. The creator waited until he had something real to say. And the result, at least on paper, looks like something worth getting excited about. Be excited, genuinely, but stay a little cautious too. Because the best version of this story is the one that earns your love rather than just borrowing it from your nostalgia. And everything about how this revival came together suggests that's exactly what they're trying to do. All right, I want to hear from you. Did you watch Malcolm in the Middle growing up? Do you have a favorite episode, a favorite character, a memory attached to this show? Drop it in the comments. And tell me honestly, are you excited about this revival, or are you bracing for disappointment? There's no wrong answer. Both are completely valid. If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. I cover TV news, revivals, and deep dives like this every week. Like the video if you think Cranston deserves all the credit for making this happen. And I will see you in the next one. Your script is locked and loaded. A few things worth noting about the craft choices. The "but wait" transition at the end of Section 3 is your retention anchor. It's the moment you redirect curiosity right before viewers might click away. Deliver it with a slight pause and direct eye contact with the camera. The Boomer patience angle is your surprise element. Most viewers expect the answer to why 20 years to be legal issues or scheduling conflicts. The real answer being no good story yet is genuinely disarming and humanizing. Play that up. The 4-episode format detail in Section 6 is a trust signal worth emphasizing in your delivery. It tells viewers this is intentionally contained, not milked.